everyone who's comfortable to do so to please stand for the arrival of the bridal party. Do you want to just put your flowers on the table? There you go, that leaves your hands. So could I ask everybody to please take their seats apart from the bride and groom? Come into the centre a bit, that's it. Important question before we start. Are you both happy to proceed with the marriage today?
Yes.
So I have to ask that. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claire, and it is my pleasure to be conducting today's wedding ceremony. I'd like to also introduce my colleague Joan. Joan is responsible for all the important legal paperwork today and making sure that you are indeed married at the end of the ceremony. May I begin by welcoming you all here to the wonderful setting of Coseners house here in Abingdon to the marriage of Geoff and Sue. Geoff and Sue have brought you together, their families and friends, to share this special day, to witness their wedding vows and to celebrate their marriage. Today marks a new beginning in their lives together, and it means a great deal to Geoff and Sue that you are all here with them to celebrate today. So on their behalf, I would like to thank you very much for being here. Just one of my duties to inform you that this place in which we are now met has been duly sanctioned according to law for the celebration of marriages. You are here to witness the joining in marriage of Geoffrey Harold Core and Susan Jane James. If any person present knows of any lawful impediment why these two people may not be joined in marriage, he or she should declare it to us now. Joan and I as registrars are delighted to be here with you to share in this special celebration, and we hope that today will be happy and memorable for everyone, but especially for you two. So the wedding ceremony is the start of your new journey. Marriage is sharing, supporting and encouraging, talking sensitively and listening carefully, giving generously and receiving graciously. Marriage requires closeness and distance, the closeness of a couple growing together but enough distance to allow each partner to still be an individual. Marriage also requires wisdom and strength, which sometimes means having the wisdom to know when we are wrong and having the strength to put things right. Marriage is where each partner is there to support each other in all that they do. A good partner in a marriage will be loving, caring, and above all, a best friend. So before everyone present, Geoff and Sue pledge to uphold and honour this simple yet binding commitment of marriage. They both understand the responsibilities as well as the enjoyment of this lasting commitment. And today they will affirm their relationship through legally binding vows, sincerely made and lovingly kept in front of you all here today. So before you're joined in marriage here today, I have to remind you both of the solemn and binding character of the vows you're about to make. Marriage in this country means the union of two people voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. And I'm now going to ask you in turn to declare that you do not know of any reason why you should not be joined in marriage to each other. So, Geoff, I'm afraid you've got to go first. So, Geoff, repeat after me. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Geoffrey Harold Core.
Why I, Geoffrey Harold Core.
May not be joined.
May not be joined.
In matrimony.
In matrimony.
To Susan Jane James.
To Susan Jane James.
And Sue. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I.
Susan Jane James.
May not be joined.
May not be joined.
In matrimony.
Matrimony.
To Geoffrey Harold Core.
To Geoffrey Harold Core.
Geoff and Sue have come to know and love each other deeply and sincerely, and they wish to demonstrate the strength and depth of their commitment to one another through the ceremony of marriage. So now the solemn moment has come for Geoff and Sue to contract their marriage before you, their witnesses, families and friends. So please may I ask everyone who's comfortable to do so to please stand together for the celebration of their marriage. So if you'd like to turn and face each other. So Geoff, I'm going to ask you a question. Geoff, do you take Sue to be your wedded wife, to share your life with her, to love, support and comfort her, whatever the future may bring?
I do.
Sue, do you take Geoff to be your wedded husband, to share your life with him, to love, support and comfort him, whatever the future may bring?
So, I do.
So Geoff, please repeat after me, but say to Sue. I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Geoffrey Harold Core,
Geoffrey Harold Core,
do take thee, Susan Jane James,
Susan James,
you're fine, it's fine, to be my lawful wedded wife. Well done, Geoff. And Sue, I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Susan Jane James, do take thee, Geoffrey Harold Core, to be my lawful wedded husband. For over 2,000 years, it has been the custom to give and receive rings. A ring symbolises a promise of love and unity, the ring being an unbroken circle, having neither a beginning nor an end. It is with this ancient tradition in mind that I ask you to wear your rings with pride as an outward symbol of the love that you both clearly share. So, Andrew, if you could step forward, please. Just round the other side, Andrew. That's it. Perfect. And then if you could present Sue's ring to Geoff. That's it. So, Geoff, if you take the ring and just pop it onto Sue's finger and just hold her hand while you repeat the promise. Okay. How's your knuckles? So just hold her hand. I give you this ring. As a sign of our marriage. And as a symbol of our love. I promise to care for you. To respect and cherish you. Throughout our life together. So Andrew, if we could now have Geoff's ring. Wonderful. So pop that on. You can have, if you like, Geoff. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of our
as
marriage
a sign of our marriage,
and as a symbol of our love.
as a symbol of our love.
I promise to care for you,
And I promise to care for you,
to respect and cherish you
to respect and cherish you
throughout our life together.
throughout our lives together.
Today, Geoff and Sue will form a milestone in their lives together at the start of a new phase together as a married couple. You have both made the declarations prescribed by law and have made a solemn and binding contract with each other in front of everyone here today. We all wish you joy and happiness and hope that the love that you have expressed to each other today will grow deeper and stronger over the years to come. So now it is my duty and indeed my privilege and pleasure to announce that you are now husband and wife together. Congratulations. Thank you. So, could I ask you all to please stand for the final time? Ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce to you our bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Geoff. I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I know not
that I know not
of any lawful impediment
of any lawful impediment
why I, Geoffrey Harold Core,
why I, Geoffrey Harold Core,
may not be joined
may not be joined
in matrimony
in matrimony
to Susan Jane James.
to Susan Jane James.
I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I know not
that I know not
of any lawful
of
impediment
any lawful impediment
why I,
why I,
Susan Jane James,
Susan Jane James,
may not be joined
may not be joined
in matrimony
matrimony
to Geoffrey Harold Core.
to Geoffrey Harold.
Someone else can go. There you go. She's actually. To be fair.
Sorry about that, just felt I needed to do that. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on our very special day. The sun has shined, we've been blessed. Your gracious company, that's also blessed us, but I'm the most blessed here. So I'd like to welcome you all. I hope you're having a nice time so far. We've got some dancing going on a bit later on. I'm expecting you all to dance.
All to dance.
All to dance, please. And I just want to say a couple of words. I've sort of like, got a real throat lump in my throat, went all dry, didn't know what I was saying, mouth got stuck together. Because the music and Sue and the girls were just stunning as they walked down. And they just looked absolutely beautiful. And I just lost it. And I struggled to get it back. But I'm not normally like that, so you'll see what I'm really like now, I think. So, without further ado, I think it is incumbent upon me to say, aren't they gorgeous? Yeah. And don't they deserve a toast? Yeah. So, if you would like to raise a glass with me to the bridesmaids. To the bridesmaids. Right, we're going to do all the speeches and stuff first of all before we let you loose on the food back there. So we'll try to move it along a little bit. And so, without further ado, I call upon my best man.
Which one?
This could be awkward.
What could possibly go wrong?
We'll soon find out. Okay. Firstly, we'd like to reiterate what Geoff said. Welcome you all here to help us celebrate the marriage of Geoff and Sue. Welcome to you all. Having said that, there have been many great double acts over the years. You know, seriously, some great double acts over the years. You know, Laurel and Hardy.
Bill and Ben.
Okay. Morecambe and Wise.
Tom and Jerry.
Romeo and Juliet.
Ken and Deirdre.
You've probably gathered by now we're not going to be joining that list. Having said that, as I said, we're not going to be joining that list, but as I say, Daddy and I, that we got sort of funny names. We've known Geoff for many, many years. Over the course of those years, there have been ups and downs, as in everybody's friendships and that. But today, thanks to Sue, this will be the latest in the ups column, we're thinking. So, having said that, we are now going to recall a few of the more entertaining moments over those years. To you.
To me,
To you.
I first met Geoffrey Harold Core when we both attended John Mason High School 60 years ago. Scary, Geoff, scary stuff. Entrance to school was by passing the 11 plus. So at that point, both of us must have had potential. What went wrong, Geoff? I remember Geoff liked sport. He played rugby, cricket, I think, basketball, and I seem to remember, Geoff, did you do judo at school?
I did.
I thought you did. When we were both old enough, we had motor scooters, which we were allowed to take to school. I remember one day being in class when there was a knock at the door. Geoff came in and he asked the teacher if he could speak to me on a very urgent matter outside. Turns out he'd run out of petrol and he wanted to borrow a cup of petrol to get him out of a fix. Being the mate I am, I duly obliged and thought no more of it. The next day I was again in class and again there was a knock at the door. Geoff came in and again could he speak to me on an urgent matter outside. Turns out he'd run out of petrol again. But he'd used my cup of petrol to go and see his girlfriend in Marcham the night before and wanted to borrow another cup. Thankfully for me, the relationship didn't last. Geoff went on to do lower sixth form at school, so he must have scraped some results somewhere, Geoff.
Yeah, I did.
But when he decided not to go on and do upper six, I don't think the school was too upset. And I think Geoff might elaborate on that a little bit later on. To you?
To me.
To you.
I personally have known Geoffrey Harold Core for about 50 years. Not quite as long as they. Back in the day, when we were young-ish, most of our social life centred around the Horse and Jockey pub in Bath Street in Abingdon. Some of you will be familiar with that. Every Christmas Eve it had become a tradition that we'd get dressed up in fancy dress, meet at the pub, have a few drinks, and then go around a lot of pubs in Abingdon in those days. We'd go around the various pubs in Abingdon collecting money for Mate's House, which is an old folks' home in Ox Street. One particular year, Geoff was dressed rather fetchingly as a wren. That's a lady sailor, by the way, not the little brown bird. Anyway, on the way round, there were numerous attempts to cop a feel, and he received several propositions, which I think says a lot about Geoff's cross-dressing skills, but raises some serious questions about the menfolk of Abingdon, I think. To you?
To me?
To you?
Understandably, Geoff was offered many male modelling contracts. However, he took up the offer of an engineering apprenticeship with AEI in Rugby, Geoff?
Yep.
That's right. He used to hitchhike from there to Abingdon if ever he came home. And when he started going out with a girl in Didcot, he came home most weekends. Well, Google Maps tells me that's 49 miles, Geoff, which is no mean feat, especially in the winter. But he did usually manage to get a lift home. Going back on a Sunday night was usually either getting a lift off a mate or going on the back of Duffy's scooter, whatever the weather. After rugby, his next jobs included being a TV engineer with Radio Rentals in Abingdon, which came with a flashy company car. Well, actually, it was a Ford Escort badged up with Radio Rentals logo that he could take off at the weekend. That impressed the girls, not. Owning and running a successful heating and plumbing business with his brother Mick, and with a good contract at the RAF camp. Working for Oxford City Council, where he's responsible for a great many things, including, at one point, the public toilets in the city. Seriously though, he ultimately attained a very good position working for the council. I should point out that when Geoff left for rugby, he looked like a mod. And Duffy has a picture to prove this. But when he returned, he had long hair and looked more like a Hell's Angel. The long hair didn't last long though when he met his next girlfriend. To you.
Me?
To you.
Gosh. Oh dear. Back in the day, Geoff used to suffer terribly with hangovers. An all-day hangover on 2 pints of shandy was not unheard of. And I think he probably kept the manufacturers of Solfadine in business in those days. That's a straight. I don't know if you ever heard of Solfadine. It was anyway. Geoff and I played cricket together for many years, and from time to time we'd get away on tour, usually sort of further north and stuff like that, to get some cricket in. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with that sort of thing, those sort of tours, whether it be football, rugby, cricket, they got more to do with the social drinking aspect of the tour than the actual sporting, what goes on. So, bearing in mind what we just said about Geoff, breakfast one morning, Geoff sporting his usual hangover. One of the other guys comes along and uttered the now, in our sort of circle, the legendary sort of expression to Geoff, or expletive deleted here: Cropsy, you can't drink soup. That was then, to be fair, that was then, but now when it comes to the bottle of Prosecco, he's up there with the rest of the girls. To you?
To me. When married with children, Jeff's family and mine holidayed together for many years and always shared a cottage in either Cornwall or France. One of the things you probably didn't know or don't know about Geoff is at that time he slept naked. Maybe he does now, Sue?
He does.
Oh. Anyway, one night on holiday, he was either sleepwalking or took the wrong turn. He fell down the stairs and ended up starkers in both our daughters' bedrooms. I think he got a lot of grief as well as a serious amount of mickey taken about that. I spoke to Gemma about that this week and she, oh my God, she said, his daughter said, Gemma, don't look. Another time when on holiday, we were welcomed at the French holiday cottage by a janitor type guy. Once the guy welcomed us into the cottage, he became quite irate and agitated and kept saying, Vesh, Vesh, and gesturing for us to go with him, which we did because he was so persistent. Geoff, being better at French than me, his theory was he was trying to sell us some milk. How wrong could we be? We followed this guy in our car and we ended up going into a field where a cow was in the process of giving birth, but the calf had got stuck. Not a pretty sight, I can assure you, but between the three of us, we managed to deliver the calf safely, and it was quite a touching sight seeing the maternal instincts of the mother kick in and look after the newborn calf. Well, the guy was so grateful, he made us go back to his cottage, his house, and drink copious amounts of local cider. And he also promised to name the calf Jeffrey. There are probably thousands of little Jeffreys in the field today. To you.
To me?
To you.
Oh, to you. Okay. My very capable assistant will be passing around, or amongst you, putting envelopes on your table. Please do not open them until sort of instructed to do so. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, apart from cricket, Geoff and I share an interest in fishing. Not the gentle sat by the Thames with a flask of tea and a sort of cucumber sandwich, but rather more adventurous wild fishing on the magnificent River Wye, not the Severn, the River Wye. Now the Wye is an awesome, powerful body of water, especially when it's either rising or in flood. It can rise 2-3 metres in an hour, which is pretty impressive. In places, the banks are 15-16 feet up from the edge of the water, and they can be very rocky, steep, and particularly slippery, particularly when it's wet. Quite dangerous. Excuse me. Particularly when you've got, as we do, waders, which are big rubber wellies basically, and a waistcoat with lead weights, a collection of lead weights, and various other assorted tackle. Anyway, to this end, I always have a length of rope in my rucksack. It enables us to get down the bank or to a bit of safety. On one occasion, quite recently actually, I was nestled comfortably about 15 foot down on the side of the river there, dreaming as you do of a British record barbel, which is what we do as fishermen. Anyway, excuse me, when I heard a faint voice cry, "Pew," that's my nickname, "Pew, Pew, have you got your rope?" So I looked back up the bank. I looked back up the bank to see Geoff, half undressed, dripping wet. A little bit concerned here, because bearing in mind that there is a safety aspect to this. A little bit concerned. I said, "What's up? Have you fallen in?" Well, not really. Well, either you have or you haven't. Yeah. Well, not really, came the reply. Well, what happened then? Right. He replied, "I just unhooked a nice chub, a fish. I just unhooked this nice chub. As I leant forward to release it back into the river, my phone fell out of my top pocket into the river. So I jumped in after it." Unbelievable, seriously, waders and all, yeah, absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, what followed, what we're going to do about this phone, was both complicated and hilarious in equal measures, which included the removal of yet more clothing, and Geoff jumping in and out of the river several times, rope attached. But regrettably, due to genuine safety concerns there, I absolutely missed the potential to capture a video which really had the potential to go viral. It really could have gone viral. Yeah, I missed that opportunity. Luckily though, we did manage to snap a little bit of photographic evidence. You may open your envelopes. To you? No, to you.
On a serious note, I can remember when Geoff first told me he was seeing Sue. We met for coffee and he told me he'd been seeing this lady he'd met at a soul do, and he was absolutely buzzing. I also remember when they had a short separation and he became more and more down by the week. I was so glad when he marched into Dunelm, where Sue worked, to tell her how he was feeling without her. It must have been like a scene from An Officer and a Gentleman. And as they say, the rest is history, and here we are today. To you.
That's sort of coming to the end of the rubbish that we're going to be spilling for a moment or two. So if you'd like to charge your glasses and to be upstanding and join us in toasting the Okay. Now, I doubt that they'll be looking forward to the patter of tiny feet, because that would probably mean they've got mice. So if you'd like to join us out, if we'd like to say, let us wish them health, wealth, and most of all, happiness. Thank you. Well, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Let's accept rapturous applause.
Right. We do a little bit.
I think we got away with it.
Yeah, firstly, I thought somebody would shout, "Get a room, we've got one, thank you." But I'd just like to I'd just like to thank the Chuckle Brothers, to me, to you. I was so glad they left their ladder at home.
It's in the car.
Really, they are my lifelong friends.
Thank you.
And the reason why there's two best men here is that I couldn't pick between them. I do different things with each of them.
Woo, steady.
One suffers with me at Oxford United, and one moans about the fish that we didn't catch as we were driving back from the Y. Lifelong friends, and I hold them really close and dear to my heart. Thank you. Thank you very much. First time I saw Sue was, strangely enough, a Solly. Sue would say it was in the varsity club, but I would differ. I think it was at the White Horse at Headington, and you didn't know I was there. But as soon as you walked in the room, oh, hello. Ooh, that's very nice. But as fate would have it, she was with somebody and I was with somebody, and all I got was I didn't even get anything then. I didn't get a look or anything. A bit later on, we were at the varsity, and there she was again, and I thought, whoa, second time that's caught my eye. But sadly, once again, you were with somebody, and I was with somebody. And that's how it went on for a little while. Now this has been going on for about 9 years. No, it's 9 years. I think it's 9 years that we have been looking at each other. We've been together now for about 4, but there was sort of 5 years where we just were looking at each other and never actually being in a position where we could do anything about it. So that is a regret. I wish I had met Sue earlier, but I haven't, and I have met her now. And what we're going to do together is going to be wonderful. After a little while, it almost was a little bit spooky, because we started to understand that we sort of had lots of things in common. We had sort of like bits of shared history, but not together. We have both suffered from awful, terrible genetic illnesses, where we have lost loved ones. We have both had a brother called Michael, who we have both lost, who's no longer with us. We have connections to Darlington and Axminster. We both have been there separately at different times, but it has been like we were sort of almost like dancing around each other. We do have a shared love of soul music. You're in for a soul night, I'm afraid, but we have picked things that we think we're going to dance to. And we do like to dance together. It's one of the joys we have. We love to lay in the sun. We love to go on holiday. All of these things we hope to do more and more together as the years go by. So what does Sue really mean to me? Well, she's changed my life. She's brought me joy. It's never dull. Sometimes it's catastrophic. Where she chooses to disappear off to God knows where to do whatever sort of shopping, shopaholic, shop for England, falls over and breaks her shoulder 8 weeks before we're going to get married. Never dull.
Yeah.
Never tell. So, we're going to have a great life together, I know that. I'm going to love and cherish her for the rest of mine, and I'm going to look after her. I gave my word to her two daughters that I would do that a couple of years ago, and I've kept it home. And that will continue. So, thank you all for coming. I won't keep you from the food anymore. I have got a couple of little procedural things that I must tell you. They will come and call you up table by table if they're around. So please don't just all rush up, because they will do it by table by table. There is a little bar around there, so you can get some drinks. It's not as well stocked as the bar at the top. And we will return up to the top for the main evening dancing event. And please dance, please enjoy yourselves. We'll dance. But that was one sad note. We did practice for weeks and weeks the final scene of Dirty Dancing. Because Sue, hurt her shoulder and things like that, she wasn't sure that she could catch me as I left. So we've got a much more subdued opening dance because of that. So you're just going to have to bear with us. But please join us on the dance floor, and thank you very much for joining us today. Right, we're ready to go.
Yep. No, you're not. Hang on.
I'm going to speak because
Oh.
from the first time I met her was at my brother's 18th. I was only 8 years old, and I remember she had big hair, big massive curls, and I'm thinking, I want hair like that. And I was thinking, and then as years gone by, I realised it was a perm. And then I'm left with all these curls, and she's straight. I just want to say thank you all for coming, and on behalf of my curls, your dad will be so proud of this day. To my Uncle Phil, to Sue's dad, to Aaron's dad, and just say, he's here, so's your mum. And Geoff, you're not part of me. I just need to say, Kirst, you look absolutely amazing. I'm very proud of you.